World War I, a comprehensive historical analysis of the Great War, background and causes. World War I, often referred to as the Great War, was a global conflict that erupted in 1914 and lasted until 1918. Its origins are complex and multifaceted, involving a web of political, economic, and social factors that had been brewing for decades. The primary causes of World War I can be grouped into several categories: nationalism, imperialism, militarism, and a tangled system of alliances. Nationalism was a driving force behind the conflict. In the early 20th century, many ethnic groups sought independence from larger empires. Nationalistic fervor was especially strong in Eastern Europe, where Slavic nationalism threatened the stability of the Austro-Hungarian Empire. Imperialism further exacerbated tensions as major powers competed for colonies and influence across the globe. The quest for dominance and resources created rivalries and conflicts of interest among the great powers. Militarism was another crucial factor. European nations, particularly Germany and Britain, engaged in an arms race, building up their military capabilities and creating a climate of fear and suspicion. Alliances played a significant role in the outbreak of war. The major powers had formed intricate alliances, which promised mutual support in the event of conflict. The Triple Entente, consisting of France, Russia, and Britain, faced off against the Triple Alliance of Germany, Austria-Hungary, and Italy. These alliances meant that a conflict between two nations could quickly involve others, escalating a regional dispute into a world war. The spark: assassination of Archduke Franz Ferdinand. The immediate cause of World War I was the assassination of Archduke Franz Ferdinand of Austria-Hungary on June 28, 1914, in Sarajevo by Gavrilo Princip, a Bosnian Serb nationalist. This event triggered a chain reaction of events. Austria-Hungary, with the backing of Germany, issued an ultimatum to Serbia, where the assassin had connections. When Serbia's response did not meet all demands, Austria-Hungary declared war on Serbia. The complex web of alliances then came into play. Russia, allied with Serbia, began mobilizing its forces. Germany, in support of Austria-Hungary, declared war on Russia. France, allied with Russia, was drawn into the conflict when Germany declared war on it. Germany's invasion of Belgium to reach France brought Britain into the war due to its obligations to protect Belgian neutrality. Major theaters of war. World War I was fought on multiple fronts, with the Western Front and the Eastern Front being the most significant. Western Front. This front stretched from the North Sea to the Swiss Alps and was characterized by trench warfare. The battle lines remained relatively static for most of the war, with both sides entrenched in a grueling stalemate. Major battles included the Battle of the Marne, the Battle of Verdun, and the Battle of the Somme. The conditions in the trenches were horrific, with soldiers facing constant threats from artillery, machine guns, and gas attacks. Eastern Front. This front extended from the Baltic Sea in the north to the Black Sea in the south. Unlike the Western Front, the Eastern Front saw more fluid movement and larger battles. The Russian Empire initially had some successes, but was eventually pushed back by the German and Austro-Hungarian forces. The harsh conditions and massive scale of the Eastern Front contributed to high casualties and significant territorial changes. Other fronts. There were also significant campaigns in other regions. The Italian Front, Italy, initially neutral, joined the Allies in 1915. The fighting against Austria-Hungary in the Alps and northern Italy was marked by brutal conditions and limited territorial gains. The Middle Eastern Front. The Allies, particularly Britain and France, engaged in campaigns against the Ottoman Empire. Key battles included the Gallipoli campaign and the capture of Jerusalem. The African and Asian fronts. The war also spread to colonies in Africa and Asia, where local and colonial forces clashed with the German and Ottoman empires. The war at sea. Naval warfare played a crucial role in World War I, with major powers employing blockades and naval engagements. The British Royal Navy established a blockade of Germany, aiming to cut off supplies and weaken the Central Powers economically. The German Navy responded with unrestricted submarine warfare, targeting Allied and neutral shipping. This policy contributed to significant losses and played a role in drawing the United States into the conflict. The home front. The war had profound impacts on the home fronts of the warring nations. Governments mobilized entire economies and societies for the war effort. This included the conscription of millions of men into the armed forces, the mobilization of industry for war production, and extensive propaganda campaigns. Social changes. The war led to significant social changes, including the increased participation of women in the workforce as men went to fight. This shift contributed to changes in gender roles and eventually to movements for women's suffrage. Economic impact. The war strained national economies, leading to inflation and shortages. The cost of the war, both in human and financial terms, had long-lasting effects on the economies of the participating countries. The end of the war, World War I, came to an end with the signing of the Armistice of Compiègne on November 11, 1918. The armistice marked the cessation of hostilities, though formal peace treaties were yet to be signed. The Treaty of Versailles, signed on June 28, 1919, officially ended the state of war between Germany and the Allied powers. The treaty imposed harsh penalties on Germany, including significant territorial losses, disarmament, and reparations. The treaty's punitive terms contributed to political and economic instability in Germany and are often cited as factors leading to World War II. Aftermath and legacy. The aftermath of World War I reshaped the global political landscape. The Austro-Hungarian and Ottoman empires were dismantled, leading to the creation of new states and significant redrawing of borders. The League of Nations was established in an attempt to prevent future conflicts, though it ultimately proved ineffective in curbing the rise of aggression that led to World War II. The war had profound effects on the 20th century, influencing international relations, military strategy, and societal changes. It left a legacy of both devastation and innovation, shaping the course of history for decades to come.